Today on Two Guys in a Ride, we're going to review the 2022 Chevrolet Trailblazer RS. I'll tell you about the horsepower, cargo, dimensions, and safety.
And I'll tell you about the interior, the controls, and all the technology.
Before we get started, take a minute, click that subscribe button down below.
And ring that bell notification up above so you never miss one of our videos.
That's right. So, what do you say, Nate?
Let's go for a ride.
Today we're working with our friends at Mankato Motors Chevrolet in Mankato, Minnesota. The 2022 Chevy Trailblazer is available in 4 trim levels, starting with the LS front-wheel drive at $22,795. The all-wheel drive version of the LS is $24,795. Now, there's also an LT with the 1.2 liter front-wheel drive, and that's $24,995. And then there's an LT front-wheel drive with the 1.3 liter at $25,390. The all-wheel drive version is $26,995. There's also an Activ front-wheel drive with $26,895, and the all-wheel drive version is $28,395. Then there's the RS, that front-wheel drive is $26,895 and all-wheel drive is $28,395. Lots of info, more information in the description. This is the Trailblazer RS, and it has front-wheel drive, and it is presented here in crimson metallic, and it has a jet black with red accents cloth with leatherette seat trim, and it has an MSRP of $27,760. Now, it is powered by a 1.3 liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine that produces 155 horsepower and 170 pound-feet of torque down at 1600 RPMs. Now, you always hear me talk about displacement such as 1.3, 2.0, 2.5, and so on, but what do those numbers actually mean? What exactly is engine displacement? Well, displacement is the size of the engine. It is the total swept volume of all its cylinders. It tells you how much air can be pumped through an engine. After all, an engine is just a big air pump. Well, to get the cylinder volume, you need to know the bore and stroke of the engine. These numbers are usually given in inches or millimeters. The bore is the diameter of the cylinder or piston, and the stroke is how far that piston travels, determined by the crankshaft. So, engine displacement can be listed in cubic inches, cubic centimeters, or even in liters, such as this one with the 1.3 liter. I know there was a lot of super techie information, but I'm sure it's something you always wanted to know, but were maybe a little intimidated to ask. So that's what engine displacement actually means. So now you know. Okay, the Trailblazer is driven by an electronically controlled 9-speed automatic transmission, and it has a final drive ratio of 3.17. And as I said, it is front-wheel drive. Okay, here we go. I'm going to get techie again for you. I want to take a minute to explain the difference between all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. This is all-wheel drive, so with an all-wheel drive system, power from the engine goes to a center differential. The center differential then sends power to both axles most of the time. They also have an additional clutch pack that can then vary the amount of power sent to each axle, so you can get 50-50, 30-70, 60-40. On a full-time four-wheel drive system, power from the engine goes to a selectable transfer case, then out to the back at a rear differential. The engine will share the power equally through the transfer case, both front and rear axles. Four-wheel drive systems are also equipped with a low gear range, which is why hardcore off-roaders use four-wheel drive and not all-wheel drive on their vehicles. Again, I know that was a lot of techie information, but hopefully you learned something out of it. Let's talk about the car again. This does have halogen headlights and telebeam headlights with the auto on-off control, and it does have signature daytime running lights that are LED. Now, LED headlights are optional on the Trailblazer in another trim package. It does have a body-colored bumper with black upper grille and black Chevy bow tie, and I really do like that dark chrome strip running just above the black lower grille And that lower grille does actually have active shutters. You can also see that RS badging on the front grille. The headlights themselves are actually set in the black trim below, and it also, it doesn't include active arrow shutters. You would think it does. Now below that are the LED fog lights and the front splitter, and up top there is a broad flat hood, and above that are intermittent wipers, and it does have a solar absorbing windshield. Let's take a look around the side. Okay, these are 18-inch high gloss black unidirectional aluminum wheels, and they have a nice machined face on them, and they are wrapped in 225/55 R18 all-season black wall tires. It also does have four-wheel ABS with four-wheel disc brakes, measuring 11.8 inch up front, where they are indeed vented, and 10.4 inch on the rear that are solid brake disc. McPherson strut front suspension with stabilizer bar, and out back is a compound crank rear suspension with gas pressurized shocks, and again, a stabilizer bar. Now, I really do like the black matte wheel well trim, and down below the rocker panel trim helps protect your paint. It's not really an off-road vehicle, but if you're doing some light off-roading, it would work well. These are also power adjustable, but they are manual folding black cap mirrors, and they look really good. It does have the body colored door handles with a lock unlock sensor and keyless entry. I really do like the matte black side window trim and beltline trim, and you see it does have deep tinted second row and rear side glass tinting on the windows as well. Up top, you see it does have that floating roof design, and there are black side roof rails, but on this version, no sunroof, no single pane sunroof, no dual pane sunroof, no sunroof at all, but it still looks pretty good. Let's take a look around the back. Okay, around back, you see it does have the nice black antenna up top, and it does have the gloss black, or the roof colored gloss black wind deflector, and it does have the LED integrated third brake light. Now this is a fixed rear window, and it has an intermittent windshield wiper, but as with many other SUVs today, I really wish they would find a way to be able to hide this wiper up under the wind deflector instead of it sitting right here at the base of the rear glass. I think it would make for a much cleaner looking rear end of the car. So this is a manual liftgate, but I really do like the black Chevy bow tie emblem like the one on the front grille. I think it's kind of sharp. You've seen it in gold and blue and other colors, but I like the black. That seems to be the trend right now. It also does have a rear vision camera, and these are LED tail lights. Now, it is also a body-colored rear bumper, and it has the matte black lower rub strip fascia that carries around from the side wheel well and rocker panel trim. I think it's a very nice cohesive design. And if you see, it kind of has like a little carbon fiber design on it as well. Down below, you see the rear diffuser and the single exhaust, but it does have dual outlets, which makes it look pretty aggressive. I like that look. This vehicle is also pre-wired with the 4-wire electrical harness and 4-pin sealed connector, so you can add your trailer hitch and go towing the jet skis or the small boat or a motorcycle or something. Now, let's take a look inside the cargo area. The rear seats are 60/40 folding, and there is some lighting back here as well, but unfortunately the release handles are mounted on the top of the seat backs, way up here, and not conveniently located with a handle back here in the cargo area. Now, underneath the cargo floor is a 16-inch compact steel spare tire, so at least you get a full-size tire. And this cargo floor does adjust up and down, which I really think is a cool idea. Total 54.4 cubic feet behind the front row for cargo. Behind the second row for cargo is 25.3 cubic feet. Now, cargo floor length from the sill to the front row is 65 inches. Cargo floor length, as you see it here with the second row seats up to the sill, is 32 inches. Now, cargo width at the belt line is 40 inches. Cargo width internally at the wheel houses is 41 inches. Cargo opening height, highest level to lowest level, is 28 inches. And as I said before, that bottom floor is adjustable up and down, and it will give you an extra 2 inches in its lower position. So that's kind of cool. Once you get something in and maybe it's a little bit taller, but you lean it over and you can stand it up in there with that extra 2 inches. Lift over height from the ground into the vehicle is a relatively short 32 inches. So what are some of the safety systems on the Chevy Trailblazer RS? Well, you have automatic emergency braking. There's also forward collision alert. You have front pedestrian braking. It has following distance indicator. There is also lane keep assist with lane departure warning. It has rear park assist, 10 airbags, and so much more. Now, some of the packages that are available on the 2022 Chevy Trailblazer RS and the other ones as well. You can get the winter and summer floor mats package, and there's also a driver confidence and cruise package. Check the Chevy website or check with your dealer for more details on those packages. Next up, let's talk about the dimensions. Okay, front track is 60.9 inches and rear track is 61.3 inches. Maximum width, 71.2 inches. Overall length, 173.7 inches. It has a height of 65.7 inches and it rides on a wheelbase of 103.9 inches. Minimum ground clearance, 8 inches, and a gross weight of 4,409 pounds. It is also capable, when properly equipped, of towing up to 1,000 pounds, and it has a turning circle of 37.4 feet. Fuel capacity, 13.2 gallons. Well, what about its overall safety? Well, IIHS has rated it good, and National Highway Transportation Safety Administration has actually given it 5 out of 5 stars. So not bad. Safe little vehicle. What about performance? 9.4 seconds, 0 to 60. Standing quarter mile, 17.1 seconds. Top speed, 130 miles an hour. I was looking all over for braking information, 60 to 0, but could not find that out for you. So what about its appearance? Well, it does look like a 3/4 scale Blazer and carries over those familiar design cues very, very well. It's a Chevrolet and you can tell. Basic warranty. 3 years, 36,000 miles, powertrain warranty, 5 years, 60,000 miles, and roadside assistance from Chevrolet, 5 years, 60,000 miles. Now it is a smaller SUV, so what about the economy? Well, it's 29 city, 33 highway, and 31 combined, and it emits 5.7 tons of CO2 a year at 15,000 miles driven per year. Now let's take a look inside, but before we do, check out my notes in the description down below and take a moment, give us a like, leave a comment, and click on that subscribe button right over there. What do you say, Nate? Take it away.
All right, so it's my turn on the 2022 Trailblazer, and this is the RS trim level. And, in terms of getting in and out, we'll overlay a video here of me getting in and out, and you'll see. But getting in and out of the front and the back was fairly easy. The door openings in the rear don't open as wide as they do on some vehicles, but it was wide enough, and you'll see that in the overlay. In terms of being able to reach everything that you need to reach in the vehicle, everything is well placed. The infotainment screen is just right here. You have steering wheel controls, you have voice command, and then of course all your window switches and everything are just right there. So it's all well laid out, just like it is almost on any vehicle. Easy to park and maneuver. Well, it does have a rear backup camera, and that does work really well. It's got a good picture on it. Definition is good on the screen, and it does have dynamic swivel guidelines, which is helpful if you spend the time learning how to use them. Back up fairly easy. Pulling forward, it doesn't have the 360 camera system, so that's just like parking any other vehicle. But it does, it's got a really small footprint. It's not a large vehicle, and so maneuvering around town is quite easy, quite comfortable, quite easy. Now, in terms of the ride itself, it's well insulated inside here, but you do pick up, sort of any divots in the road that you run over, that you can hear, but the cab itself is really fairly quiet. Now, in terms of just how comfortable is it to ride in? Well, you've got an 8-way power seat on the driver's side plus 2-way power lumbar, so you can adjust it almost anywhere you want it. And I would say it rides as comfortably as any shorter wheelbase vehicle. The shorter the wheelbase, the a little rougher the ride you're going to get, but it's a fairly nice ride. All right, so that's the end of my ride. Now back to Rob.
All right, my turn in the 2022 Chevy Trailblazer RS. All right, got a stoplight here, but I'm going to be able to get onto the highway with the on-ramp in just a minute here. So we'll see how the acceleration is. Okay, because it is an on-ramp, it will be a rolling start. It won't be a dead stop to 60. But we'll see. Now this little 1.3 liter. Okay, it's got some decent little pep. Smooth shifting transmission, I do like that part. But you know, I mean, it got me up to 65 relatively quickly. Not bad at all. You know, it's not a 10-second drag strip car, so you know, it does handle well. It feels very nimble. I do like that, and it was a nice kick to get me onto the highway, so I wouldn't think there's any problem merging traffic or getting into places excuse me, getting into places of the highway or even around town that you need to get to. Interior sounded quiet. Oh, I'm doing 65 right now, and you can hear the inside. It's pretty well muffled. You do get the road noise, and I do pick up some of the rub strips along the road. But it's very damp and very soft. Not bad at all. Safety systems included. You know, you have the anti-lock brakes. You have the blind spot. You have the emergency braking. So many things that you find on today's cars. They're on all cars, and all these cars are built with lots of safety and technology on today's car market. The interior fit and finish, you know, I actually like it. We drove the actual Blazer, the new Blazer, and it was an RS, and that was a couple years ago when it came out. I wasn't a big fan of the dashboard and the layout of the interior, but this, I like the seats. It gives you a nice commanding view, even though it is a very small SUV. I like the interior. I like the layout and the design. The touchscreen infotainment system is right at your fingertips. It's very responsive. All your gauges are easily legible. There's a lot of hard plastics in here. And there's some things, you know, I wish it had. It does not have heated seats. It doesn't have the wireless charging. A few things it lacks, but this is the RS level. You could go up and get, you know, higher level. That would give you more options. You can check the boxes. But overall, I like the way it looks. I like the trim. I like everything they've done on the inside. I like the patterns. The seats look good. They are fabric, but I like the pattern on them. And it's a sharp-looking vehicle inside. Well, that's our review of the 2022 Chevy Trailblazer RS, and we appreciate you spending some time with us. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and please click on that subscribe button down below. Thanks for watching.